Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thanks, Steve. Today we're going to talk with a couple who's been RVing and work camping since 2005. This episode is sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's one-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. Howard and Linda Payne are natives of Louisville, Kentucky. They both worked professional jobs in 2005 when they turned 42 and realized they wanted more freedom and flexibility in their lives. The motivation behind the move was interesting, as was the speed in which they embraced the change as everything fell into place. They bought an RV and hit the road in August of that year, and since then they've worked 9 different work camping jobs, some of them more than once. The Paynes describe many of the jobs they've had and offer advice on how to research and apply for new opportunities. They also describe some of the silly things that have happened to them along the way, as well as some of the mistakes they have made. They've lived in a fifth wheel and a motorhome, and they explain the advantages and disadvantages of each. Today, they are staunch advocates for the RV lifestyle and work camping to the point they train others on how to do what they have done. In fact, they describe a rally coming up in April where people can learn even more. Howard and Linda also founded the website rv-dreams.com, which provides a detailed journal about their travels as well as other information about their work camping experience. To tell their story in their words, please welcome Howard and Linda Payne to the show. Thanks for joining us today, Howard and Linda. I really appreciate it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and where you're from and how long you've been RVing?
Well, hi, Greg. Good to talk to you. We have been RVing since 2005. We
are from Louisville, Kentucky.
We were from Louisville, Kentucky originally, and we quit our corporate jobs at age 41 and bought a fifth wheel and a truck, sold our house, and hit the road with no RVing experience and no steady paycheck.
Oh my goodness! Now that took faith. What? Yeah.
That's one word you could use. Yeah.
That's right. What did you do in the corporate world?
I was a real estate attorney, actually.
Okay.
And I was a director of operations.
Okay. Very good. Well, that's neat. And so now you just travel the country kind of on a nomadic experience. Do you do anything to make money?
Well, we started our website, rv-dreams.com, geared towards assisting others in becoming full-timers. And part of that is doing a little work camping along the way and helping others through that process. So yes, we have our own website. We speak at RV shows, and we run our own educational rallies once or twice a year.
Well, that's neat.
In addition to that, then we've held 9 different work camping jobs, I believe it is, over all those years. And we just stopped full-timing in December. So we now have a house in Florida, but we're still RVing, and we still check our Workamper news emails every day in case there's anything we might see that's appealing.
Okay. So you haven't given up on the RV lifestyle, but you're just not going to do it full time anymore.
Correct.
Okay.
That's right.
Super. What was your favorite thing about RVing over all those years?
We're traveling nature people. So the more we could get out in the wilderness and the beautiful landscapes of this country, that's what we really enjoyed more than anything else. And the work camping helped us be able to explore some of those special places for longer periods.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What were your favorite places to visit?
We always get asked that question, and we are quite partial to the state of Utah and the 5 national parks there and all the public land out there.
So you like being out in not only remote, but very remote areas.
That's what we prefer. Yes.
Yes.
Super. Yeah, I drove my car through Utah just about a month ago on my way up to Colorado, and it is barren.
Yes, it is. But it's a beautiful barren, I think. I love the red rock. There's just something about the rock formations and stuff like that speaks to me.
That's right. I was at Zion National Park a number of years ago, and that is probably the most unique national park I've ever been in as far as rock formations and structures are concerned.
A lot of variety there.
Yeah. A lot of different terrain there.
Yes.
It's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We were campground hosts at Arches National Park for a couple of months.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a way to spend a summer in the national park.
And we did it, well, it wasn't the summer. We worked March and April. So it was really a good time to be there because you're not, really in the heat. And seeing snow on the red rocks is really, it's beautiful. But we did that 2 years in a row for March and April. And one of the reasons why we did it again the next year is because it really gave us a chance to explore everything in Arches plus all the surrounding area. Canyonlands is there, and just beautiful, beautiful things to discover in that area. So that's why we took the second year we did it.
Mm-hmm. What other fun places have you been to?
All over. We've done 51 of the 61 national parks.
Wow.
And last summer we spent 5 months in Canada and Alaska.
I was just going to ask about that because Alaska is one of the best places to go with an RV. I mean, there is a Kodak moment around every corner up there.
It's a wonderful place. And Alaska is what started our whole change of life. We took just a 2-week vacation to Alaska. It was not, we didn't have an RV or anything. We just flew up there, and it changed our lives. And that's what kind of got the wheels rolling for us to quit our jobs and figure out how to travel for a living. And so it was Alaska that started it. And then we decided Alaska would be our last hurrah before we quit full-timing. So it's a wonderful, wonderful state. We absolutely love Alaska.
Was there a state that you didn't really find too appealing?
Well, I'm not sure we want to offend any members of our state or any residents.
You know what I always tell people is that every state has something unique and really cool about it.
Absolutely.
And the way we traveled, we got to see all that because we would only go 150 to 200 miles on our travel days. And then we'd stay a week wherever that was, so we really saw all the little towns in between, and there was always something interesting to do. So I really can't think of anything horrible or, there wasn't, there's not one state that stands out that I didn't care for, there was always something.
Something there to keep you occupied and keep you interested. That is an excellent way to actually travel, to do that in 200-mile increments. So that's maybe 3 or 4 hours. And then you're in a new place and you're there, did you say a couple of weeks?
A week to 2 weeks, depending on how much there was to do in the area. Yeah, we just traveled very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
We would bypass a national park if we couldn't give it its due. We only had maybe a couple of days. We would just bypass it and save it for another time when we could spend more time there.
Okay.
We like to spend a month or more at the national parks if we can. And that's one of the things that we did with our work camping is we would figure out where we wanted to be, what park or what place we wanted to explore. And then we would start looking for work camping jobs in that area. And what was so nice about that is that would give us a place to stay for X amount of time, months. And then in our off time, we would go and explore the area. So it was a wonderful way to see national parks and things like that. So we incorporated the work camping in with that.
Would you have any recommendation on the best time to visit Yellowstone if you wanted to avoid traffic?
It It's pretty much always crowded. We always visited the national parks in what we call the shoulder seasons, in the spring, right before the kids are let out of school, and in the fall, right after the kids have gone back to school. That kind of gives you the best combination of crowds and weather without it being peak season.
Yeah, we were in Yellowstone in April of last year, and it wasn't crowded.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Yeah, but sometimes in April, you're still snowed in.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Certainly the winter is a good time to visit, but I'm not sure I would take my RV there.
The last time I was in Yellowstone was in April as well, but I think that was April of 2017, and I froze my butt off because it was so cold, and they have a restriction on generators at night.
Right.
So you can't turn on the heater until like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was an ice cube by then. Yeah.
It was cold when we were there. It was definitely cold.
Yeah, but we saw a lot more wildlife actually in April than we had in prior visits.
I don't care
in the year.
What people say, it's still a weird experience to wake up to have buffalo next to your RV. That is just
or elk.
Freaky. I never saw an elk in a campground, but yeah, that would be really...
yeah, we had elks in the campground.
Very good. What other kinds of work camping jobs did you do?
Our very first one when we started out on the road was we drove a nature tram in a national wildlife refuge in southern Texas. So that was our very first job. We got through Workamper News.
And that's been one of our very favorite jobs too. We loved that.
Yeah, we kind of love that interpretive docent type position if we can find them. And that was Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge in South Texas. And from that job, we were hired by another wildlife refuge in Texas. A manager took our tram tour and gave us his card and said, if you want to work next winter for me. And so that's what we did.
That's one way to recruit work campers.
Yes. Let's see other jobs that we've done. We worked at a guest ranch in Colorado. And, cleaned cabins, took reservations, did maintenance, cut grass. And that was a really unique experience.
3 miles of stock trout stream running through the property. So after work, it was fly fishing each night.
And it was 25 miles away from any town or anything like that, and it was mostly gravel road. So we were way up in the mountains, up in the national forest, and so very remote again, which is what we like. And that was a little tiny ad in Workamper, and that's kind of the ones I look at. I'm really strange with the ads that I look at, but sometimes the smaller ads intrigue me more.
Okay.
And so that was another Workamper job that we got. And let's see.
We worked on a golf course and an elk ranch in Michigan. So we worked a few days a week and got all our free campsite and all the golf we could play.
Well, that's cool. Did you ever dispute a ball lay with an elk?
No. Yeah, they were quite separate.
Okay. Very good.
And then another job we did was we worked on a hobby farm up near Voyageurs National Park. That was a park we were wanting to visit in northern Minnesota. And so I said, well, I'm going to look for a work camping job up there so we can stay up there the whole summer and explore that national park. So we found this job in Workamper. It was another
hotline email.
Yeah, it was a hotline email of somebody looking for people to come and live on their farm property. There was no house, but they had RV hookup. And so we cut grass, we picked vegetables, we let's see.
I got on the tractor and bush hogged.
Yeah, he bush hogged and tilled. We did all kinds of farming stuff, which was really fun. I enjoyed it.
That's neat.
So we've had quite a variety of jobs.
And for 2 months, we worked in Acadia National Park in Maine. And our job was working with the Schoodic Institute up there in their birding department. And our job was to count migrating seabirds.
Okay.
So each day we went out at sunrise and set out on a rocky bluff overlooking the ocean with our binoculars and spotting scopes, and we counted birds.
Really? So
Yes.
that's. How did you know that you weren't counting the same one more than once?
There's a technique.
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
technique.
We went through some training, and
Yeah.
you're estimating, but
Okay.
you learn how to estimate. And
But you're only counting them in one direction.
Okay.
So it was.
if they weren't heading south, we didn't count them.
count them if they weren't heading south.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, how far in advance did you have to apply for work camping jobs?
We're not big planners several months in advance. So many times we would get them from the hotline,
Yeah.
emails, that are a little bit more immediate need. And we would pick them up from there. We just weren't the type to plan that far in advance. So just a few months, maybe.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
18
Okay.
months.
Not 8 months or 12 months like some people do, but
We just never knew where we were
yeah.
where we were headed. So, that far in
Yeah,
advance.
Mm-hmm. I think the folks at Workamper recommend that people have a 1 and 2 year plan, but it sounds like you have a 1 or 2 month plan, and it worked.
It worked.
Works for
Okay.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants the whole time we've been on the road. It's worked well for us.
Did you face any challenges while you were RVing or work camping?
Well, of course, RVing, there's challenges.
There's always challenges in RVing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our biggest challenge was we lost a truck engine coming down a mountain in Montana,
Wyoming.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was
That was a huge challenge.
a big issue.
I mean, you actually lost the engine. It fell out of the vehicle.
No, well, we threw a rod on the way down. The engine over revved, and it was a combination of the truck's fault and the driver's fault. And
So we had to replace an engine.
we had to replace an engine, and it took them 3 times to get that fixed properly.
Oh, no.
So that was a challenge.
Did you
We
have
were working rallies. For 4 years, we weighed RVs with the RV Safety and Education Foundation. So we would travel 2 rallies across the country, and we would do wheel by wheel weighing. So that was at a time when we were in between rallies in Wyoming. So we were stuck there for a bit.
Okay. Did you have to use the runaway truck ramp?
No,
He got safely down the mountain. The good thing is it didn't really poop out on him until we were at the bottom, and he just said something's really, really wrong. And so we pulled over, and then we got towed to a campground. So it all worked out, but it was a challenge. It was one of those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, is this lifestyle for us?
I can imagine. Yeah, it's not easy to get an engine repaired from a mobile RV technician either. You have pretty much have to take that somewhere.
but fortunately we had our RV roadside assistance, and they towed us to a campground. It was on a Sunday, and then they towed our truck to a dealership on Monday. So
And that was in a different town that we were staying in. So
but it's we're big fans of RV specific roadside assistance, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do at that time.
That's good to hear. A lot of people wonder whether they should have it or not. I always thought it was essential because you do not
do
want
too.
to be.
For full timers especially, we think so.
Right. Were there any other challenges that you faced, or any other experiences that really stood out as very memorable?
Well, we've had so many experiences with our hiking and traveling, and we've done a little backpacking. We've always carried inflatable kayaks and done some paddling. In the work camping realm, we had one position in Michigan where we didn't vet the position as well as we should have, and as we teach other people to do. And so it was one that we ended up working, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, and it wasn't really structured. So we kind of struggled with that one, and that was a 5-month deal. and that was one of our longer stints. So we learned our lesson from that one.
But you stuck it out. You didn't quit.
We stuck it out.
Oh,
yes.
no, we do not quit.
Good for you.
We always tell people when we're talking about work camping, it's such a short-term period that you can stick it out. I mean, it has to be drastic to not be able to put up with it, something abusive. But when we commit to something, we're pretty committed, and we will just make do with whatever we have to.
And we're kind of entrepreneurial people. So, we worked for a campground in Northern California. And sometimes when we get in there, and this is a suggestion for all work campers, is we would get in there and we would see operationally some things that might be able to be improved or made more efficient. And some employers are really receptive to that, and others are like, we've been doing this for years this way.
Don't tell us how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to gauge your employer to see if they're up for that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I'm a director of operations. That's what I do. And so when I see things that cause problems or bottlenecks, my whole thought process is, how do I correct this? And, some employers do not want that. Others do. When we worked at the ranch up in Colorado, I mean, my employer called me the boss. So she'd always say, "What are we doing next, boss?" And then others don't really care for it all that much. So,
and you can't press that. You have to recognize it and back off.
And you have to back off. And sometimes that's hard for people to do, but you really have to just back off and let it be.
Mm-hmm.
But those are some of the challenges I think you face in work camping is, when you think it could be done better, but they're not receptive to that.
Sure. Are there any silly mistakes that you would be willing to admit to making while RVing?
Well, they're almost all in our blog. We've been very honest about everything that we've screwed up, and losing the engine was there's mixed commentary on whose fault that was, but I'll take some blame for it for not using the brakes properly coming down that mountain, and we did drop our fifth wheel on the truck rail. I dropped the fifth wheel on the truck rails early on in our adventures, which was a pretty stupid thing.
Did you ever run out of gas?
Linda backed our truck into the fifth wheel kingpin
twice.
Yeah, hitting the tailgate. So.
Do you ever run over an electrical tower at a campground? I've done that.
Oh, you got to tell me.
Well, we full-timed in our 39-foot fifth wheel for 13 years, and then we decided to downsize a couple of years ago when we found a 29-foot Winnebago that we really liked in Tucson, Arizona. And we went down there, went for a test drive. Linda drove it on the test drive, and when we brought it back to the dealership and she backed it into the spot, she backed into an electrical pedestal.
Right there at the dealership.
Right at the dealership.
Howard goes, well, there goes all my negotiation.
Yeah. Right. I completely lost the upper hand in negotiating power.
What type of RV did you use when you were traveling?
We had a 39-foot Keystone Cambridge fifth wheel with a Ford F450 pickup, and then now we have a Winnebago Aspect 27K,
and it's a Class C motorhome.
Okay, and which do you like better, the fifth wheels or the motorhomes?
They're two totally different animals, and they both have their pros and cons. The Class C is much easier to get up and go, requires less travel planning, less campground planning. But the fifth wheel was more like a home, and we loved it when we were work camping. It was much more comfortable when we're sitting for a period of time. And I'm more partial to the fifth wheel, but the motorhome certainly has its benefits, and it was great for our trip to Alaska.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was amazing for the trip to Alaska. And we're probably in 2021, we're probably going to go do the Canadian Maritimes. And I think being in the little motorhome will be really nice for that trip as well. So they do have different
pros and cons.
Yeah, I mean, they have
minuses,
pluses and minuses and pros and cons. So it's really all about what kind of travel you want to do.
Yeah. We've had solar panels on both of them, so we do like to do quite a bit of boondocking. And the motorhome, it's easier to get into more places, but the tanks are smaller, so we can't stay as long.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of a pros and cons thing with it. Then the fifth wheel, we had to be a little bit more particular about where we went to boondock, but we could stay 2 weeks easy on our tanks.
Okay. We've always said that if you motor more than you're at home, you get a motor home. But if you're using your RV as a home more than you're traveling, then get the fifth wheel.
That's a good advice.
Mm-hmm. Super. So what kind of perks have you been able to enjoy as a work camper that you really, really like?
In the national wildlife refuges and the national parks and arches that we worked in, we got free propane, we had free laundry, and we got a little stipend. So there was a little bit of stipend that we got paid. It wasn't much. It was, maybe
$10.
Yeah, $10 a day that we worked. That covered the fuel to get to the grocery store and that kind of thing. So we had a few of those little perks. And
I like knowing what goes on behind the scenes. That's been one of my things that I love about going to museums or any kind of a historical thing, is seeing how things work behind the scenes. And so when you're a work camper, you get to see all that. And so I consider that to be a perk. But also another perk, I think, is especially in the wildlife refuges and the national parks, is when you're there all the time, the wildlife that you get to see or the hiking that you get to do because you're there, for so long, that to me is a huge perk. Getting to enjoy that beauty.
I imagine that as you get to know the rangers too, and you're going to be there forever, they can say, well, nobody ever goes here, but this is my favorite place in the park to visit.
Yes. Yes, we were told about some petroglyphs in arches that are not made known publicly, but some of the rangers told us how to get there to go see them.
The free golf in Michigan was a pretty nice park.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah. But just all the national parks and everything that we got to do there was, the one national park in Texas. We went out with the
National Wildlife Refuge.
National Wildlife Refuge, right? Yeah, we went out with the manager on an airboat, and so he taught us to drive the airboat just in case anything happened to him.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
That was kind of a neat experience.
That's cool, skimming across the water like that at high speeds.
Yes.
Yeah, very fun.
And we got to go on I went on a night bird banding mission at that same wildlife refuge where they were looking for, it's a certain kind of bird, they're called rails, and they're water birds, but they stay like in the reeds and grasses, and they're very hard to see in the daytime. So they go out at night on these big swamp buggies. I mean, huge tires and these big swamp buggies with big spotlights looking for these birds so that they can capture them and put bands on their legs. Mm-hmm. And that was really cool, getting to go and do something like that. That was a neat perk.
Yeah. So what are you doing now that you're coming off the road?
We're still staying involved in the RV world. We're going to continue to have our rallies. We are continuing to speak because we're getting off the road as full timers, but that doesn't mean we lose all of our knowledge automatically.
Right, exactly.
But we're still RVers too.
So we're still RVing, and we're still doing 3 to 5 RV shows each winter. And we have our own educational conference. And I think we're going to revamp our website a little bit, update it, and kind of change the focus a little bit. So we're still not sure exactly how all that's going to come about, but
Okay.
we'll figure that out at some point.
I understand you folks have a rally coming up.
Yes.
Yes. So it's our RV
Almost
Dream.
a month from now. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the RV Dreams Spring Educational Rally. It's in Sevierville, Tennessee, near Gatlinburg. It's April 20th through the 26th. And it is geared toward those who are interested in becoming full-time RVers. So we do 6 days, and we have about 18 to 20 hours of seminars, including an hour-long seminar on working on the road. And we have some catered meals and some fun things. And we do an open rig walkthrough for people that want to open up their rigs and let others walk through and see what modifications have been made and what they look like lived in. That tends to be a really big highlight.
We have the RV driving school that comes and gives driving lessons to anyone who wants it. And we also have the RV Safety Education Foundation come and weigh RVs at the rally as well. And then we have an RV dealership that brings in a couple of RV dealerships that bring in our new RVs for people to tour through during the week. There's just all kinds of events that go on during this rally.
Yeah, we have RV Solar Solutions that is doing a couple of solar installations and quoting some solar systems. And we have representatives from RV insurance benefits to talk about healthcare for work campers and full-time RVers. And we have about 20 to 30% of our attendees don't even have RVs yet.
Well,
they
that's
come
neat.
And stay in hotels or bed and breakfast, whatever whatever accommodations they can find. And it helps them decide if this is their lifestyle for them before they make the big purchase.
Are tickets still available?
Yes.
We have about a dozen RV sites left. And then those who want to stay, we're at the Ridge Outdoor Resort, and they have tiny houses and safari glamping tents on site.
Cool.
We've reserved all of those, but we only have one safari tent left. And but there's lots of hotel accommodations around, and folks can still come and join us.
What are the dates again?
April 20th through the 26th.
In Tennessee?
Yes, Sevierville, Tennessee.
Outside of
Sevierville,
Gatlinburg.
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's near Dollywood.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
It's very close to Dollywood, the RV resort is.
In fact, we've had Dollywood come to our rallies
and
in the past.
And talk about work camping.
Right. I've interviewed several people who've worked for Dollywood as work campers, and they have lots of nice things to say about that experience. So that's very cool. If people
want a lot of show discounts and tickets and a lot of perks for that job.
If people wanted more information about this rally, could they find it on your website?
Yes. RV-dreams.com.
Very good. Do you have any last minute advice for people who are thinking about entering the RV or work camping lifestyle?
That can be a long conversation, but we do, for our work camping seminar, we talk to people about interviewing the employer as much as they are being interviewed. We talk to them about staying positive, because on these work camping positions, we're talking about phone interviews. We're not flying across the country to do interviews for work camping jobs. So we need to make sure if we have a resume out there, that we need to make sure that our voicemails are positive, that we answer the phone enthusiastically. A lot of it's about personality as to, who gets what job, who's putting on the best face for the employer. Not every job is in front of the public, but a lot of them are.
But we also encourage people to be completely honest with the person who's interviewing them, and to remember it's very important that you find out if you're going to be able to work for these people. And so that's why we really encourage people to ask a lot of questions so that you don't get there and be disappointed, because that's not a good situation. You want to get there and be excited about the job. And if you didn't do your job in the beginning to find out what all it entails and how flexible the employer is going to be and that they can work with them well, it's just not good on anybody. For the employer, if you get there and you turn around and leave, we always tell people, if you make a commitment, stay. It's not that long, finish it out, because it gives all other work campers a bad rap.
Right.
Yeah.
We
definitely try to get people to vet the job as much as they possibly can, so they know what they're getting into, and so there aren't those surprises. Because again, it's a terrible situation when somebody shows up and then they leave immediately, and then the employer may say, yeah, this Workamper thing, it's too much of a hassle, we're not going to do it anymore.
That's right.
And that hurts everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that.
And we also tell people to get the job descriptions in writing. So a lot of these are little mom and pop campgrounds, or depending on what the different job is, some of them may have a formal job description, but a lot of them don't. So talk with the employer, write down exactly what the job descriptions, the pay, the days of work, and all that. Write all that down and send it back to the employer in an email, and just say, this is my understanding of the position. Do you agree? And at least that way they send you a return email and say, yeah, that's about sums it up. And at least you have that to go on when you get there. And if they change the position on you, or you can at least pull out this little email and say, well, this is what we agreed upon. If you want me to do these other 3 things, we'll be happy to, but we need to renegotiate.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I really appreciate the time you took today to talk to us about your experience. It sounds like you guys had a lot of fun, but aren't giving up yet. So we might see you on the road at some point.
You never know. You never know. We're still young enough. We're only 56, and who knows, in a few years, we may be right back out there full timing and doing more work camping.
Yeah.
Super. Well, thank you again. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Greg. It was fun. Appreciate it.
What a fun story. I'd like to thank Howard and Linda Payne for sharing their adventure with us. They are work camping gurus for sure. I love that they opted to travel at a much slower pace by driving segments of 150 to 200 miles before stopping to explore the area for a while. Some people like to have their itinerary planned out months or years in advance, but the Paynes like to decide where to go and then look for jobs in those areas. Many times the jobs start just a few months later. They admitted one of the really big unspoken perks of working at national parks and at wildlife refuges, and that is learning the location of hidden areas to visit that are well off the path that most people never get to experience because they whiz through the area so quickly. I really like their advice to take time not only to interview prospective employers to make sure that the job is compatible and that they understand the commitment that is required, but also to follow up and email a written understanding of the important aspects of the conversation. That works to cut down a lot of misunderstandings and regrets that may occur when the work campers have certain expectations based on a conversation that the employer didn't really intend to convey, or that was conveyed in a way that wasn't clear. It takes just a few minutes to send out a memo of understanding, if you will, which I think helps ensure that everyone is on the same page before starting a job. People who are thinking about getting into the work camping and RVing lifestyle, but who don't want to wait until the end of October to participate in the Workamper Rendezvous, can attend the Paynes 2020 Rally April 20th to 26th near Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. For more information about Howard and Linda or about the upcoming rally, be sure to visit their website at www.rv-dreams.com. Workamper News, a magazine and online publication that connects RVers to full and part-time jobs around the country, can also help you get started in the right direction. Whether it is running a business from your RV or working short-term jobs for a variety of employers, Workamper News can give you information to help you plan a course to live your own dream and get you on the road faster than you thought possible. For more information about opportunities to live, work, and play in your RV, visit www.workampernews.com. This episode is sponsored by the National RV Training Academy in Athens, Texas. The Academy's 1-week live training or home study course will teach you everything you need to know to fix about 80% of the problems people experience with their RVs. You can also sign up for additional training to become an RV inspector, campground technician, or to provide mobile RV service. For more information, visit www.nrvta.com. That's all we have for today's show. The next few episodes will feature interviews with more work campers who are either getting ready to jump into the lifestyle or who have been living their dream for several years. Thanks for listening to today's episode of The Workamper Show.